folks, welcome. Hello everyone, thank you for joining us. Welcome to our webinar. We'll just give it a few seconds for folk to keep coming in. Hello folks, thanks everyone for joining. Just waiting for a few more people to come on in.
Pone. Wow. Pone.
Okay,
We have
I
a
think
woodpecker. Pancho is actually ¿Dónde estás, Pancho? No sé.
do we have a camera to switch to?
Yes, they're right there. Look at that.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
It's a male lineated woodpecker.
This is fantastic.
Oh, wow.
And it's gone.
No, Pancho's going to follow it. Just a second.
This is a lineated woodpecker, folks. We haven't even had much chance to do an introduction, but I can narrate while we're watching this spectacle. We're back in Ecuador. We don't know what we're going to see this session. I can't wait to see what we're going to be finding, but there's lots of things already happening and have been happening over the last half hour as we've been just getting set up. We had a fantastic day yesterday with a busy banana feeding station and a hummingbird feeder attracting a good variety of species at the Amagusa Reserve. And last night, the team have stayed out in the field specifically to bring you this virtual tour today. So they're further down the western slope of the Ecuadorian Andes on a small family-owned farmstead, where these feeders and trails have only relatively recently been set up. So it'd be quite interesting to see what comes to visit to today. Now, we'll stay online for about 45 minutes or possibly up to an hour if there's lots of action going on. Please do, throughout the tour, put questions to us in the Q&A section, and you can also share your comments in the chat. Just quick introductions for anyone who didn't join us yesterday. I think most of you know me. I'm Sarah Frost, NatureTrek's Marketing Manager, and I'm joined by our Managing Director and Manager of our Tours to Ecuador, Andy Tucker.
Afternoon, folks.
And we're delighted once again to be joined by the wonderful Roberto, who's speaking to us, as well as Pancho on cameras. So hello team, good morning. We've got a great start to this virtual tour.
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing as well as I am. I'm really having a blast right now with this amazing list of birds or observations of birds. We are actually facing right now a beautiful male lineated woodpecker. You can see the chicks, the red chicks, the lines along the chicks going all the way to the back. And those are actually field marks that will be very handy if you want to identify this, because we have other species who are quite similar. But this one is distinctive because of the two lines that they are parallel in his back. And it's the other species they might actually even meet, like a bee. The red head, of course, and the red cheeks are distinctive. That's a bless. I'm so excited about seeing these birds. So now Pancho can maybe share with us. We have a. Can you show us actually what we are seeing right now? Kind of a wide angle of what we are getting or experience in this special place that is known as the Fruttitour. My friend, the owner, Marcelo, he started this little business actually maybe about 4 years ago with the help of a teacher. It's a school teacher in one of the public schools here in Pedro Vicente Maldonado. We are about 1 kilometer away from downtown Pedro Vicente Maldonado. We are in what we will call subtropics. Our elevation is about below 500 meters. And we have an amazing list of tanagers. For example, there is blue-gray tanagers. Those are actually the blue ones. There's a one that actually shows in the picture or video. It's the palm tanager, has black wings. There's an Ecuadorian thrush showing up in the picture right now. Look at the yellow beak, and also a kind of orangey eye ring, typical of this species, Ecuadorian thrush. There's if you, Panchito, raise the camera to the left, you will find an euphonia, small type of Yeah, he's moving the camera into the position to maybe get a new bird. There is the euphonia. He came back. Good that our cameraman knows about birds too, so it's much easier to work with him. Except that actually the birds sometimes they don't want to help. But there's actually a euphonia. Look at the yellow crown, the black mask. The yellow goes all the way to the chin, and is really, oops. So they don't stay long enough. But Panchito will get it. There's blue-gray tanagers there. I'm trying. There is the
Oh,
euphonia.
here we go.
There is the male, and there's the female. That's a female thick-billed euphonia, quite heavy bill. The dulled yellow breast, green olive back, typical of females. So there's sexual dimorphism in these species of birds, euphonias. Until a few years ago, they were in a type of limbo. They didn't know if they were seed eaters or tanagers. Now they're in a specific group based on a specific taxonomy established by scientists, ornithologists. For example, in the euphonias, you have sexual dimorphism, but not in blue-gray tanagers. That's a beautiful male euphonia. They're much smaller than the common tanagers, so, but they're really, really interesting type of birds who are frugivorous. And my dad, who is a farmer, he cultivates cacao. He doesn't like them because they transport this mistletoe fruit or seed, and then basically they disperse that over the cacao, and it's a semi-parasitic plant. So the euphonias are actually the main dispersers of this special type of parasitic plant for the cocoa, or the plant for chocolate. You can check on your Panchito. Can we move the camera somewhere? There's the young male euphonia. Wonderful, thank you. And there's the female euphonia on the left. There's two females actually feeding on the bananas. Can you? I'm trying to find where will be the best to add new species to our list today. There's no I saw we got a glimpse of an agouti today, so I'm hoping that we will be able to share with you guys the agouti. Sorry, but I'm scouting what we can find.
Yeah, great to be back with you today, Roberto. I presume most of you watching were with us yesterday. If you weren't, then as Sarah said, a warm welcome. We're slightly further down the western Andean slope in Ecuador today. Do shout out, Roberto, if anything new comes up. I'm just going to share my screen to show the folks where we are today. So if I zoom in, here's the capital of Quito, just lying right on the equator. The guys are about 3 hours drive northwest of Quito down towards the Pacific. Yesterday, we were up in this region around Mashby. So last night, the guys had to drive down to Nanangalito and all the way back around. That's a drive of about 3 hours. And today, they're just outside the town of Pedro Vicente Maldonado at a small farmstead called Sendero Fruttitour, which, as we were talking about yesterday, is one of these new up-and-coming birding stations, feeding stations. They're involved in conservation and rewilding, reforestation. And I'll ask you a bit later, Roberto, this area of Ecuador, the whole lower western Andean slope, has been the victim of serious logging over the years, principally for African palm oil plantations.
You're totally right, Andy. It's actually a lot of deforestation. That's why I mentioned my dad. For example, my family, he's been an African palm oil farmer for a long time. And yeah, it's part of the economy here. And it's not just that. There's also hearts of a palm, palmito, there's cocoa, there's coffee. The nastiest is African palm oil. They need a lot of hectares to be productive. So yeah, there's been a lot of deforestation. The prices of African palm oil went down, so it's been actually some type of rest in that aspect, because it's basically we have a female shiny cowbird, I think. We have a female shiny cowbird in the camera right now, and that's a good one. In a second, we can actually get the hummingbirds. Let's just start working with hummingbirds. Panchito, our cameraman, is right now helping us to get the, there's a flame ramp tanager. They changed the name recently. That's a male flame ramp tanager. Males are actually black with a yellow ramp and a bluish bill. I guess we got actually a glimpse of this bird yesterday. We saw females, but not the male. Right here we have the male. Yesterday Now I remember that we didn't see any males, but we got one now. That's beautiful. We are going to actually switch to hummingbirds. So let's see if we can get something new. There's a very nice hummingbird in the right-hand feeder, and that's a white-necked Jacobin. You can see the the blue hood with the white belly all the way to the tail. It is on the back feeder, but in this one, so far, nobody yet. It's being a lot of hammers, but they are actually just coming and leaving, feeding, and not necessarily staying long enough. But let's see. There's another hammer. That's a female white-necked Jacobin coming to the small feeder. This is it's a feeder that actually doesn't allow the hammer to perch, so it's one of the most common feeders to be visited. But it's more now we are trying to look for. Ahí está la white line tanager. Ese ya llegó. Ahí está. So Pancho is going to switch to another new species of tanager that's called the white line tanager. We have a female. Pásale eso. There you go.
Oh.
She is a female, and the male is pitch black. The female is brown, like what you're actually seeing. I haven't seen any male yet, but is basically interesting the sexual dimorphism on these species especially.
So yesterday, Roberto, you were up at about 1,400 meters in the Andes. Now you've dropped down further on the western slope. You're now what, 400, 500, 600 meters?
Actually below 500 meters.
Below 500, yeah.
It's it's very interesting the differences on species. Some species they overlap, they don't care, like the tanagers, especially the blue-gray tanager and palm tanagers. We saw them yesterday too. But in here, for example, is dominant the presence of the Ecuadorian thrush. There's a male on the white-line tanager. Male white-line tanager. There you go. Panchito is going to share with us this very special. There, he flew right. It's interesting that actually we have a bunch of hummingbird feeders, and the feeders are actually not very rich with individuals, but actually there's different species, but they stay. There is the white line tanager, male. The shape of the bills, you can see that actually is very distinctive, and this is a special family of birds, the tanager family, and heavy, kind of a little longer. Also, we can hear, I bet that actually everybody can hear some birds calling.
If anyone has any questions for Roberto or the team generally, then do use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screens, or the chat if you prefer. Roberto will be very happy to field any questions about birding in Ecuador, about his job, about life in South America. Feel free to ask any questions. There's the thick-billed euphonia again. Just white-necked Jacobin coming into the feeder there, just on the feeder behind where we focus the camera, unfortunately. Just see it slightly blurred in the background there.
Yeah.
You're totally right. They discovered not a while ago that actually even females of this special hummingbird white-necked Jacobin, they will have the same colors of the male. So they are actually switching, special adaptation, because in hummingbirds there's a lot of violence between males and females, chasing the males, they chase the females away from their territories or fruit supplies. And they found actually that some males were sitting on the nest hatching the eggs and laying the eggs, and they found out that they were actually females with the colors of the male, trying to basically reduce the violence in the territory, so they can be more efficient doing all of the job. There's a saltator, Panchito, in the right-hand side coming to the bananas. He's perched on the lowest right-hand side branch of the tree. There he is. Now he's in the bananas. That's a new bird. for us in the bananas right now. It's a saltator.
You might have just noticed a new hummingbird there coming to the left-hand video. This is buff-throated saltator.
Yeah, that's a buff-throated saltator right there, my friend Andy. Yes. No, yes, look at that. Look at the mustache and the look at the eyebrows. Yeah, and it's because actually Marcelo brought us breakfast. We didn't inspect this. Panchito is actually jumping in one leg, but I'm a kind of, you know, it's a big, nice chicken stew, by the way. I will show you later, guys. But anyway, well, if you come to Ecuador, you can try it. It's amazing. But anyway, I'm trying
Great
to.
stuff, Roberto. Yeah.
¿Dónde está el? ¿Puedes subir la cámara de los comederos?
Yeah, the white-necked Jacobin is just back there on the left-hand
white-necked
camera.
Jacobin is on the left-hand side, Peter. Yes.
A widespread species all the way from the Caribbean coast, Trinidad and Tobago. You can see them, and if you've been to the Azores Islands, all the way down through the tropical Andes, you'll find white-necked Jacobin in disturbed habitat and gardens.
Yes, as simple as that. Yes, this is a quite common hammer, especially in disturbed locations. Yes. We have a saffron finch. Look at that. Well done, Panchito. There were two birds there. One was a scrub blackbird feeding there, scrub blackbird, and the other one was a saffron finch. In the especially ya se pasó otra vez a las. Yeah, the yellow bird that was actually, I don't know if he we got a glimpse, I think, but saffron finch and scrub blackbird were actually feeding on the corn. So basically, look what we have in camera. Oh, there's the saffron finches. We have a beautiful male with an orange forehead, and there's actually a young bird, a juvenile, in the left. There's the scrub blackbird. Looks like a scrub blackbird, but actually is more brownish. In the I'm looking in the camera, so it's kind of let me just have a look. Yeah, that's a young scrub blackbird bird. It's more brownish. Doesn't show that in the camera. A little takes the color, real color, that I can see with my naked eye. So I had to stand up and go and look through the binoculars, and that was actually the best thing. These are actually, these blackbirds, they tend to vocalize very nicely, especially in the morning. They are not very vocal, but every time that I hear them, I know that I'm actually getting into my dad's farm every time that I hear them. There's the golden olive woodpecker here on the right. In the bananas, we have the golden. There. Muchas gracias, Marcelito. Look at the.
Good job, Pancho. Well done.
Yeah, wow.
Here's a golden olive woodpecker male. We have probably the same individual that we saw earlier.
Where did you grow up, Roberto? Did you grow up in the countryside or in Quito?
Actually, I grew up in both. I had a chance to. My father and my mom, they were actually always farmers, always, and somehow in Ecuador. Like my mom loved actually to be in the countryside. My dad also. Both of them grew up in the countryside, especially my dad. And my dad always had a farm, a type of little ranch where he had cattle for beef and especially horses. We love horses, and we really are into these animals. And so I grew up in Quito, study in Quito, the capital of Ecuador, and of course in the countryside. So most of the time, weekends, not driving too long, maybe an hour drive, we were able to be in the farm and spend the weekend in there. That's how we grow up. And so I'm always actually interested on. Then one day, actually, I had a chance to go to the States, and my dad basically sold the farm to pay the cost of my exchange student program. So I went up north to the States to learn English. That was the main goal. So I stayed for a year in a pig farm in the States. So it was a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. And that's how I pick up the little English that I know, because it's not perfect. Apologize for that. But anyway, in the end, I became to be a naturalist right after I became, I came from the States when I was 18 years old. Naturalist, a guide, and it's been my profession since then. I'm really, really like what I do.
Great. Now you speak excellent English, Roberto.
Oh,
What's
thank
your
you very much.
favorite area to bird in Ecuador? Of the three main biotypes, the Amazon rainforest, the high Andes, and the subtropical forested slopes of the cloud forest in the Andes, what's your favorite area?
I love to bird watch in Ecuador, because
Full
in
stop.
every, yeah, that's the point. Ecuador is not, you can bird watch and get a good list of birds in the gardens in Quito. For example, the hummingbird with the longest tail will be actually the black-tailed trembear in gardens. In gardens in the back of my in my house, I have a plants that actually attracts this special hummingbird, black-tailed trembear. Wow! And then if you go to the Amazon, go to the coast, the lowlands, the dry forest or tumbation forest, the Choco bioregion, every time that you drive maybe 200 meters, 600 feet lower or higher, the temperature is going to change. The climate is going to change a little bit, 1 or 2 degrees Celsius, and then you have a microclimate. That's the fun. So I've been asked that question many times. What do you like? What do you really enjoy? Or what's your favorite place? Ecuador. I love my country. I love to go birding anywhere. And it's always expect the unexpected. That's the fun thing about actually being in Ecuador.
And one of the
So
beauties of Ecuador, as you just touched on, recounting your childhood, is everywhere is it within quite easy reach. Some of the huge countries in South America, you need to fly around. But in Ecuador, everywhere's within touching distance almost.
as simple as that, Andy. Yes, you're totally right. It's so close. One point A, driving all the way to point B and get new species of birds. It's a very short distance. The longest sometimes that you can drive, you have to drive, is maybe 3 to 4 hours, if that's the case. But you are actually switching from one region to another one, from the Choco bioregion into the eastern slopes in the Andes, into the kind of moving towards the Amazon. And that's even actually the drive between these ecosystems, these regions is amazing. So everything is fun, and that's why I like any region. I don't like to stay too long in the same area. I want to keep moving. So moving from the northern part of Ecuador to the southern part of Ecuador, that actually is much narrower, you are going to get species that will be amazing. He just flop. I guess actually some people maybe got a glimpse of the orange-billed sparrow. He was eating on the corn. Maybe he will be back. That's a beauty. And so right now we're trying on. There's a hummingbird feeding on the black-throated mango was actually feeding. We have another one in the back. I guess because of the I guess there's a white-necked Jacobin in the back feeder. Están viniendo. The hammers are actually they're moving into the back feeders, not to the feeder that we set up actually the camera. And maybe that's the reason. It's a strange object facing the feeder, and that's why maybe they're not the hummingbirds are not very friendly with this special feeder. Oh, there's the woodpecker again. We got a lineated woodpecker. Look at what I was explaining before. Look at the two lines. They don't meet in the back. They just kind of parallel in his back. Lineated woodpecker. We have our friend. Let's see if he's male or female. Looks like we have the female right there. Look at that beauty. Amazing, amazing bird. Happy to answer any questions.
I think we're all a bit transfixed, Roberto. This is fantastic. I love this woodpecker.
See, and it's
beautiful.
It's not actually, believe it or not, it's quite large. This is a big woodpecker. And so we don't get that idea, the proportion of the size in relation to a tanager or something like that, because there's nobody close by. But it's a probably 30 centimeters from the tip of the bill all the way to the tip of the tail, the length of the this beautiful woodpecker.
Yeah, I saw a Magellanic woodpecker in Argentina a few months ago. in January, and I couldn't believe how big it was.
See, yeah, they are very impressive, and we have a few species in here that actually makes Ecuador unique. And like I was saying, yes, you can drive from east to west in a few, in almost no time. We have good infrastructure, good highways, good roads. Everything is actually always in maintaining, or in the work. The government's working in a good way to keep roads and highways. We have a lot of roads actually paved, so you can get, for example, to this location, the Fruttitour. You can drive from Quito in a very nice highway road to get here, and then drive maybe 300, 600 feet, 700 feet, and you will be in this in the porch of this gentleman house, sitting just watching the birds that actually will be showing up here. There's a long-bill star-throat. No sé si le puedes ver, ahí está en feeder number 7. That's a highlight here too. It's a hammer that actually is a typical lowland hummingbird. I'm going to try to, Panchito, let's see if we can get, it's 2 species in that feeder number 7. Let's see. We are trying to get that now. There's 2 hammers. One is the black-throated mango in the back, and the other one with a white spot behind the eye and a long bill. That's a long bill star-throat. Black-throated mango, male. And look at the whitish ramp on the long bill star-throat. Typical of these species. That's a white stripe along the ramp, vertical. And look at the length of the bill. Look at the mask. That's a beauty. Long bill star-throat. The mango just left, but the long bill star-throat gave us a show. There's another hummingbird perching in the, yeah, that was a rufous-tailed hummingbird. That was another hammer in the next feeder to the right. Now Panchito is catching something else. Oh yeah, we have the woodpecker again. Mándate atrás, solo hay los saffron finches. No se llama la guatusa. ¿Dónde está? So, ahí está, ve, arriba está. We found a squirrel. It will be, if we can get, no, sorry, the squirrel that says that she doesn't like pictures, so she decided to leave. So trying to find more stuff here. This location where we are, we were talking with the owner, Marcelo, and there's a couple locations on this elevation that actually are more motivated for ecotourism. This is one, and the other one is Silanche. So Fruttitour, it's one of the first places that actually was established to attract people, bird watchers especially, in this specific region. There's many more places, like if you drive up high, like we already know, if you drive higher, there will be more people involved in ecotourism. And here we are just beginning. And so Fruttitour has a very important role right now, because the owner told me that he's been hosting students and people to actually teach them about the beauty of birds and why to see them we need to preserve, we need to maintain the native forest. And that's what this gentleman is trying to do. So it's very important to help them with our presence, bringing people here. He makes a little more money than actually just what he was using before the land for. He inherited this land from his father. There are 9 brothers in this area, and all of them are neighbors. But this gentleman, Marcelo, is the only one that actually is doing this ecotourism. And he makes basically double in relation to what he will make from the farming that he was doing before. When he got the land, this land was basically pasture for cattle. Now he started actually in the early stage with fruits. That's why the name Fruttitour, fruits, a tour of fruits. Basically, he started like planting a lot of different things, like maybe naranjilla, passion fruit, or maybe avocados, etc., 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 to actually share this type of tour with local people. Then he realized that those fruits were attracting a lot of birds, and then also the presence of the teacher of the school, the public school in town. They actually working together, they established all of this infrastructure. I tell the squirrel cuckoo, Pancho is going to maybe try to get a very nice, there is squirrel cuckoo. Let's see. Pasa la cámara.
Oh. Go on, Pancho.
Yes.
You can do it.
Vamos, Panchito. There he is. Wow.
Yes.
Look at the white spots on the tail. Quédate ahí, no importa, ya. Esa es la forma. That's a beauty.
Wow.
Look at that. This guy is being feeding on fruits and insects around. Some of the lights that actually the owner keeps around. Look at, can you hear the parrots? Bronze-winged parrots are flying above our heads.
I was just going to ask Roberto, we could hear a lot of noise going on in the background. Could you tell us a bit about some of the birds that you can hear calling?
No, actually, they were actually a very noisy group of parrots that just flew above our heads. Ahí está la ardilla.
And what about the other birds that we've been hearing in the background as well?
We can hear actually a lot of the tanagers, especially the lemon ram tanager, and some squeaks of the Ecuadorian thrushes, blue-gray tanagers. Now Pancho is going to try to share with you guys the squirrel that wants to get there she is, the bananas. The squirrel is coming to the bananas. That's a western red squirrel or red-tailed squirrel. A squirrel. Western red-tailed squirrel.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the same species on the eastern slopes, but actually is a little bigger in the eastern slopes. But there is the squirrel. What a beauty. Our first mammal. I hope actually before we finish our tour today, we will be able to get another mammal. We got actually a very good look of the agoutis. This is called the Central American agouti, and he was feeding on the corn that Marcelo, the owner, set up in different stations around where we are.
Roberto,
Yes.
we've got a question from Roger, who's joined us today. Hi, Roger. He asks, are there any trogon species around?
Yes, we do have a very nice list of trogons, especially in this elevation, like a greenback trogon, maybe a Choco Toucan. Yeah, there's a bunch of species. More lower you are, more species of trogons you will find in these, especially in the west slopes of the Andes. The same case is actually, also if you go a little bit higher, you can get actually two species of quetzals related to trogons. So it's quite an amazing list of these special type of frugivorous birds, the trogons.
Elegance personified, Roger says about the trogons. I agree. They're lovely birds, often perching mid to high canopy on horizontal small branches, singing.
Guys, we have a little cuckoo, new species. Just came to visit with a yellow bill. Is a little cuckoo. Wow, Pancho is getting it. Yes, there it is. Look at that highlight bird right there. Not easy to get this actually in a. Oh wow,
That
little
is
cuckoo. It's actually half of the size of the other one, the first one that we saw. Two species of cuckoos, my friends. What a beauty! Look at that. We got the squirrel cuckoo, and now we have the little cuckoo. Just came to visit and pick up maybe some food. I don't know if he will be feeding on the bananas, but for sure, the insects that they will be attracted by the lights that they're staying all night long in the, there are not too many, one or two, but that attracts insects and that's what they like. Little cuckoo, that was a highlight. Sorry, Andy, to interrupt.
No, that's good. That's a great bird to see. We touched briefly on safety in Ecuador yesterday, Roberto, but just in case anybody's joined us today who weren't with us yesterday, Ecuador very much open for business. If you read the UK Foreign Office travel advice, and for Americans as well, it's pretty alarmist, I have to say. But to all intents and purposes, birding groups, ecotourism, very safe in Ecuador, taken good care of by the local team, and your lives there go on unaffected.
Totally right. Right now is very peaceful, very quiet. There is being more a very intensive work of the government trying to guarantee the safety of every Ecuadorian, every foreigner that visits this country. So we are happy that we're moving on. and basically is what we need. Yeah, yes, we were talking that actually tourism is one of the most important incomes of the country. So we need to motivate everybody to keep working and allow the visitors to come and feel safe and being able to visit every location. So yes, it's moving on. We are actually, like anywhere in the world, you know, that actually is not 100% guarantee. If you go to New York City or maybe London, there will be always safety issues. But in Ecuador, we're working hard actually to make sure that every location that we visit, especially locations that are destinations for visitors, you will have a peaceful visit, a unique visit, and nothing to worry about it. So yes, think about it and find that Ecuador will be the perfect place for you guys to visit if that's what you are planning for the near future. There's a hermit. Ahí está, ahí está, ahí está. We have a white whisker hermit actually feeding in the flowers. He's moving. No, he actually discovered that we were ready to take pictures of him and he decided to leave. Another bird that doesn't like pictures. That's my first joke, guys. So that means actually that's what we call Ecuadorian sense of humor. Anyway, ¿qué vio? ¿Qué vio? El mango. Yeah, there you go. There's a hammer. Oh, there's a black-throated mango in the back feeder. There's the rufous-tailed hummingbird in the feeder, in the back feeder. And like I said before, I think is actually the device that's close to the feeder that actually doesn't attract. There's the black-throated mango feeding on the left-hand side feeder in the back. Very interesting. That's not an easy bird or hummingbird to see in feeders, by the way. The black-throated mango, and has a, oh, that's one of my favorite calls. That's a scrap blackbird calling. So I'm going to actually stay quiet for just a few seconds to help you to hear the sounds. It's sounds, not noises. Actually, so much fun to hear everything. Sometimes we just sit in a place and we can hear so many birds. Let's try that. That was a lot of fun. I love to hear the sounds, and now we can talk again. But the last sound that was quite loud, I hope you heard, that was the scrap blackbird. Since
as a bird guide, Roberto, it's absolutely vital that you've got a good understanding of all of the bird calls. Oh, pallid dove.
see, yeah, there you go. Pallid dove, very dull gray, very interesting. Very interesting. There's actually two species here, white-tipped dove and pallid dove, Andy. So in my humble opinion, look at the wings. It's not as rufous, it's more grayish. So this is, in my humble opinion, actually a white-tipped dove, my friend.
Ah.
Yeah, it's a white-tipped. Both species actually occur here. Yeah, she's more grayish, not as rusty. That's a white-tipped dove. Cool. Look at the wings, more rusty, grayish. In the early views of the pallid dove, she was more rufous. Also, the white-tipped dove is a little bit smaller than actually the pallid dove. This is the white-tipped dove. That's a new bird. Cool. Well done, Panchito. Yeah, a lot of corn. They've been eating a lot of corn for the last few years, I guess.
Are you moving into a low season for visiting birding groups, Roberto? Do most groups go in the northern winter?
When we actually are basically when we are actually working, we can work all year round. There's no seasons basically in Ecuador, according to some of experts. Yeah, and basically it's true. You can actually enjoy the same kind of conditions most of the time during the year. Doesn't matter where you are, the Amazonia, the highlands, or the coast, even Galapagos. The interesting thing is that actually maybe if it's raining in Galapagos or maybe raining in the coast, the highlands can be dry, or the Amazonia. So if you switch, you have to just relax and enjoy it. If you get rain, after the rain, you have always the best activity. So I like that type of transition between what we would call rainy seasons and dry seasons. You can bird watch almost all year round, and the seasons is based on the type of guest that will come from maybe Europe or maybe from North America. Yeah, so that means we get people from Europe in this time of the year that actually not necessarily are bird watchers, but we get actually people from England. And then actually maybe when the people from Europe is not coming, the people from North America will come. So in that way, we actually stay quite busy all year round. But this month is being quite slow. It's been quite slow. There's bronzy hermit, Andy. Bronzy hermit. Oh, it's in the feeders. I hope Panchito, ahí está en el feeder number 7, 6, 8, 8, 8. Sorry, my Spanish. I'm trying to find out where this unique hammer it's coming to feed. And he left, but there's a very unique hummingbird that actually is coming. So that's the fun thing about being in these places. You can sit, and then sooner or later, new species will show up. Not everybody likes to show up in the same time, because everybody is desperate, especially in hummingbirds. Everybody is desperate to eat in the early stage of the day, and then by the time that the day goes by, everybody actually is filling up their stomachs, and they decide to perch somewhere. So that allows new species to show up, and that's the fun thing. Like I said before, expect the unexpected during the morning, during the day.
So Roberto leads our tours, some of our tours in northern Ecuador, the 9-day Cock of the Rock special, which goes to Quito, Mindo, this area, slightly further up the slope and on the eastern slope as well. Our longer Andes and Amazon tour, which includes Sacha Lodge in the Amazon. Roberto also leads our Ecuador Mammals tour, which goes after spectacled or Andean bear, mountain tapir, and all the Amazonia species, giant river otters, and lots of primates. And occasionally also our southern Ecuador trip, the Hocotocoampita trip, which unfortunately at the moment has been ruled out through Foreign Office travel advice. They advise against travel to Guayas province at the moment. So those are our kind of flagship Ecuador tours. And it's great that Roberto's a regular fixture on those. Really good and fun traveling companion, and an excellent birder and naturalist, as you're finding out as well.
Thank you. Yes, Andy, it's a lot of fun actually to share with our guests my country. I feel always very confident to move in every location. There's a hummingbird in number 9 that actually is a very tiny hummingbird with a white stripe. No, he didn't stay long enough. That was a green thorntail. Oh, there's another one. That's a mango, female mango, guys. You saw the white? There she comes. Look at the black stripe on the metal chest along the from the throat all the way to the band. Wow, the flanks of the black stripe, the white stripes. That was a female black-throated mango. What a beauty. Thank you, Panchito. So, yes, I think I really like what I do, and I've been doing this for a long time, and happy to work for Nature Trek. With Nature Trek, it's been a lot of fun. I'm always actually excited. Yes, thanks to you guys, I have a job, I have work, and I'm being able to support my family. I have 3 kids, and thanks to this profession, I'm being able to make a living. Look what we have here. There's somebody. Oh, we have dusky face tanagers feeding. That's the sound that you hear in the back. And a lemon or flame ram tanagers, but that dusky face is actually typical of this elevation. Wow, look at the iris. Look at the iris and the black pupil. It's very distinctive of this specific type of tanager. Only found in this elevation. I haven't seen it actually maybe higher, maybe a little bit, maybe a couple 100 meters higher maybe, but that's it, occasionally. Then actually is quite common. And they like actually second growth. Actually, they like areas that they're being affected by deforestation in some stage. They don't mind, but they are not that easy to see.
Lovely.
Lovely. I agree.
That's a great view.
Great view. Yes, Panchito did a wonderful job there. Oops, there you go. You find out that actually we're taking pictures of him. And anyway, there he is. That was actually a wonderful bird to see. Wonderful. There's a white-necked Jacobin in the feeder in the back. Cool. I'm trying to find more stuff to share with you guys.
For those of you watching, we'll stay online probably until about 2 o'clock UK time, so just about another 15 minutes or so. I suspect some of you might have to go back to work after a lunch break, but feel free to stay with us. There are a few potential species we haven't seen yet. We've built up quite a nice list actually today and yesterday. And hopefully in the remaining 10 or 15 minutes, we might pick up another couple of new species.
There's a wildline tanager on your right-hand side, Panchito, in the upper branch. Maybe we can get, maybe you can teach Marcelo how to press the button and maybe he will be more, there you go. Oh, se bajó a las bananas. Panchito is actually setting up for another male wildline tanager. There, thank you. Ya les vimos a los Ecuadorian thrushes, como son, tal vez nos... We are trying to get more species. Oh, look at that, the wildline tanager, but getting the adult plumage. Look at that interesting coloration of this individual. He's a young male. When they are actually in the nest, they look like the females, they're brown. But by the time that they get older, they will start picking up the color of the male, and that's what's happening. So in a few weeks, this beautiful bird was going to be an adult full wildline tanager. But the mixture of brown and black is really interesting. And the bird on the left is a blue-gray tanager. What a beauty too. The blue-gray tanager is quite common. And there's actually another one on the right. That's thick-billed euphonia.
This just continues to be fantastic. Just more and more keeps coming. Oh, wow.
Viene quitando los comederos. Deje solo los donde está apuntando el... Déjeme solo uno, que es el grande. Solo el grande deje, donde está la cámara.
And Ecuador continues to be a part of the world that's particularly close to our hearts, doesn't it, Andy? We have a reserve in Ecuador, a nature trek reserve, which we've had for many years. We've been encouraging customers to offset carbon emissions from flights for about 24 years now, since the year 2000. And since 2007, we've been making contributions at our own expense. So we donate £15 for every long-haul return flight and £5 for every short-haul return flight on behalf of our clients. And this goes to Fundación Ecominga. This is our Ecuadorian partner of the World Land Trust. And to date, using this method, we've raised £445,000, which we're using to purchase land and continue purchasing land to expand our reserve and protect these areas. And in fact, where our reserve sits is classed by the WWF as one of the top 200 most important wildlife corridors in the world. And we've had new species discovered in our reserve, 2 new species of frog, which is very exciting. One of them called the nature trek frog. So I can send more detail on this in our follow-up email later this afternoon.
That's very nice. One thing that is interesting is that actually about 20% of our national extension, Ecuadorian extension, is actually protected. So we are quite privileged that actually not just the private investors, people that wants to protect forests in Ecuador is doing it. Also the government is doing. We have a lot of national parks, a lot of reserves, but we are still in diapers in the aspect of how we manage our land, how we manage our forests. And thanks to organizations and foundations like Ecominga, we are able to educate our local people and motivate them not to be the hunters or the timber loggers, actually motivate them to to work like park rangers and educate the local people, and that's what we need. We have a hummingbird on the right-hand side. That's a female white-necked Jacobin. Female white-necked Jacobin feeding on the feeder right now. Cool. So finishing the comment, thanks to your donations, thanks to your help, we are able to motivate more local people, like the gentleman that actually is running this place here, or foundations that are really into conservation, because Ecuador is a small country. We have about 17 million people, and we keep growing. Our population keeps growing, and that's one of the biggest problems, in my opinion. The population. We need more resources. We need more options to support all of these people, and always the forest is actually the entity that pays all of this need of resources. So more conservation, more people involved in ecotourism. It's maybe the alternative. It is a very good alternative.
Yeah, as with yesterday, folks, we'll pop a donation link into the chat section, and I'll also send it in an email later today. So the team are really happily making this effort in the hope that you'll book a nature trek tour to visit them in Ecuador. Ecotourism is such an important part of protecting habitats when people see the value in them. And we can take clients out there to enjoy the natural wonders as this fantastic country has to offer. But the donation link will also be vital to help raise much needed funds to try and protect the local area that you're seeing. Any funds donated by you today and raised will go to the landowners of the reserve, who've kindly let us run our tour there today. And as with yesterday, this local area is also under immense pressure for logging and agriculture. So we'll be helping fund conservation projects such as rewilding the land of the Fruttitour Reserve. So please do follow the link to leave a donation if you would like to. It really, really is so much appreciated, however much you're able to give.
There's options. There's the agouti, Central American agouti, my friends, showing up into picture just in the last minute, and that's a wonderful, wonderful type of mammal, not very easy to see, and totally unexpected in the aspect of, I was actually hoping to see this mammal earlier, but no, there he is. But Panchito's doing a good job following him. Yes, oh, there he is. There you go.
He looks like he's walking right up to you, Pancho.
See? It's moving towards, now actually disappeared just behind the bushes, but there he is, there he is. Central American agouti, cool.
Have any of your children, Roberto, I think you've got 3, have any of them followed you into the world of bird watching? Have you managed to enthuse them at all?
None of them actually, they were well, I have a daughter that's 31, I have a son that's 27, I have a daughter that's 10. It was very interesting, but after 31 years, my oldest daughter told me just a few months ago, hey Dad, can we go birding? That was officially the first time that any of my kids decide to actually follow my steps in somehow. So just a few months ago, I gave actually my oldest daughter, a pair of binoculars. I gave it to her, and she's been actually more than a few times already in this last month saying, hey, can we go birding? And we've been birding, and she loves it. So, and then one day she told me just a few days ago, hey, can we actually, can I study actually to be a guide? Because maybe that will be a kind of option. So that made me actually very proud and happy about it. But that's being the first time ever. Then my kids actually, when they were younger, never will think about actually going with me for birding or maybe a nature walk. But we grow up actually in the countryside with the kids too. We love horses, so we've been riding. They know how to ride horses all their lives. So nature is quite close to them. And every time that I open my mouth, they always actually know that there's a bird somewhere, or there's a hawk somewhere, or there's actually maybe a saddle and a horse. And but you can combine both activities in some way, so they are aware. But getting involved in this activity, not really, except my oldest daughter, maybe, I hope.
Yeah, yeah. Rufous-tailed hummingbird just flew in. We'll give it another couple of minutes, Roberto, then we'll give you and Pancho a rest. You can go off for your proper breakfast and a coffee and get back to Quito later in the day. But yeah, thank you very much to you and Pancho and the entire team over there for the past 2 days. I've really enjoyed it. I think you have too, Sarah, haven't you?
Yeah, big thank you from me as well, team. I know it's a really big effort for you to get all of this set up and doing the practice and the technical side of things, and just getting yourselves there as well and staying overnight. So we really do appreciate it from everyone here in the UK. And folks, if you're appreciating it, feel free to mention so in the comments. It's really nice for the team to see this. And please do make a donation if you can, no matter how small. It's really, really much appreciated. Oh, we've got a new woodpecker here.
New woodpecker, guys, just to say goodbye to all of you. He show up in just the last minute. It's a black-cheeked woodpecker. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Andy. It's been a real pleasure. I had a lot of fun doing this, and I hope we will keep doing it because, like I said before, I really enjoy it, and it's been a wonderful experience.
Yeah, I second that, Roberto. It's certainly nice for Andy and myself to spend a lunchtime doing this for us in the UK.
Pancho, just come to the screen so we can say thanks to you as well. Show us your face. There you go. Great job with the cameras. Pancho,
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Real pleasure to be with you guys and hope you enjoy it.
Thanks
Yeah,
very
you did
much.
a fantastic job, Pancho. It's really not easy at all to be moving the cameras around so much, for everything's moving so quickly and to get everything focused. It can be a challenge to take photographs while you're actually out there, only 2 meters away from something. So you've done so well for us today. It's been brilliant. Thank you.
My pleasure, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, as we said.
Yeah, thank you to those of you that have joined us for the last 2 days. Much appreciated. If you have any questions on Ecuador, then do contact us in the office. I'll be very happy to have a chat with anybody who has any questions. But by and large, we just hope you've enjoyed 2 relaxing days. There was an article in the British press recently from a journalist that went away traveling with bird watchers, and she asked the question, are bird watchers the happiest retired people in the UK? And it's just the soulfulness and the mental health of being out engaging with nature, I think. And yes, it'd be nice for us to be away from emails for an hour, isn't it, Sarah?
Yeah, it's very soothing. I feel very zen after looking at all that.
Right.
Well, folks, as I said, we'll email you later this afternoon with a species list of all the things of the birds that we've seen and the 2 mammals as well, along with a link for you to leave a donation if you would like to contribute towards the conservation in the area. And we'll also be running 2 more roadshow webinars, which are well underway at the moment. We've got 2 more remaining this season. So the next one is Ghana's pangolins and picathartes, which is on Wednesday, the 15th of May. And the following week will be on African wild dog conservation and the highlights of Botswana, which is on the 29th of May at 7:30 p.m. So we hope to see you all there. And if you have any questions in the follow-up to this virtual tour, please do just drop us an email and we'll be very happy to get back to you. So from myself and Andy, to the team, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for bringing us this virtual tour today. And for everyone who has joined us, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Take care, guys.
Thanks, folks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.